Hi everyone, I'm Susan Trent, as I said, CEO of Atlantic Therapeutics. Despite the accent, I'm actually based in Boston and I've lived in the States for about 15 years now. And I'm really excited to be leading this organization that is Galway headquartered, but is really now expanding the opportunity in stress urinary incontinence in the US. And I'm quite pleased to be presenting towards the end of this conference, because I think what we've seen in a lot of the sessions, a lot of the conversations, is some of the emerging themes that we're seeing in the device space. And I'll pick on a couple of those themes. Now, very clearly, it's incredibly important that these brilliant new technologies that we're bringing are addressing a very big unmet consumer need, and that the problems that we're trying to solve currently have really suboptimal solutions. And for me, the second theme as well, which came out really clearly in that great session on, what do VCs want? It's not just about how we're delivering these treatments, it's also where we're delivering these treatments. And I think if the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that we really have to be going out to where patients want to consume and engage with their treatments. So when we look at the condition that we at Atlantic Therapeutics are addressing, stress urinary incontinence, it is remarkable to me that it is such a prevalent condition. Around 1 in 3 women worldwide are suffering from some form of urinary incontinence, and yet it is just so little discussed. What we know is women who are suffering from bladder leaks, as they will call them, don't think there is a way to treat this. They think it's almost an inevitable consequence of aging and childbirth. They don't think there's a solution, and they are basically just buying pads in the millions of dollars worth every year, the billions of dollars really, to try to mask the symptoms of stress urinary incontinence. And clearly we want to change that conversation. We want to bring a way that women can understand that there really is a solution, and it's a solution that they can engage with easily. Now, we're all creating technologies with that end consumer, that end patient in mind. So I think what better way to introduce Innovo technology to you than is through the voice of the end user. This is one particular review from a consumer. First thing you'll see is how effective Innovo is. Now, although we are unashamedly going direct to consumer, we are a serious scientific medical device. We went through a de novo FDA approval. We did large-scale RCTs to support our claims. So we have a really strong scientific underpinning with published data. And what I love, of course, is in real life, the women who are using Innovo are really seeing and feeling that efficacy. What we have to do is help more women understand that this is really about strengthening your pelvic floor. If you have a bladder leak, don't blame your bladder. It's actually all about your pelvic floor. So really important that we continue to educate women that this is the reason for the condition. And for me, what I love most, we all know that one of the barriers to really good outcomes is compliance. And when you hear a consumer saying, I love this product, it is so simple to use, you know that you've taken away a major barrier to compliance. So that's how a consumer sees and perceives the Innovo brand. Let me show you, because I think our job as an organization is how do we make more women aware that these solutions really are available to them. So I'll show you our TV advertising that is really trying to interrupt the conversation that, say, the pads companies like Procter & Gamble's, Kimberly-Clark are having with women, which is, stress, urinary incontinence, bladder leaks are normal, and we're here to help you by protecting you and masking the symptoms. We want to change that conversation, disrupt that conversation. So here's our advertising.
Me? I'm a fire starter. And change is now. We're done. Done with bladder leaks, worry, temporary fixes. Because we're letting the world Innovo. Now we have science behind us, we hold the power. We wear the pants. New Innovo pelvic floor restoring pants. At last, being leak-free is possible. Change has spoken.
We wear the pants. That's the message we want to give to women. There is hope, there is empowerment, and you can do something about stress urinary incontinence. So this is what Innovo looks like. It is a serious, scientifically supported medical device, and yet it is as simple as pulling on a pair of exercise shorts with some very clever electrode technology delivering neuromuscular electrical stimulation. No probes, nothing to insert, no medical intervention. Wear this for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, a 12-week treatment program, and every day it is delivering 180 perfect Kegel exercises. So that's as easy as it is for women to really solve this problem. So as I said, what we want to do is bring the treatment to where women are really engaging in the conversation, and we know they're just not going to their healthcare professionals, they're not seeking medical intervention. So we sought and received a direct-to-consumer clearance from the FDA so we can bring Enovo direct to consumers. And I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the reasons we're starting to see some really good traction with this brand. First of all, it's always thrilling to present charts like this, but we launched as a direct-to-consumer in the early part of 2020. And what we've seen over that time, in the same period this year versus last year, we're seeing a 98% increase in our unit sales. So we really are starting to crack the code of how to bring this brand to life. Very important, we're an e-commerce platform. We sell everything direct to our consumers and we have that relationship with them. One of the most important metrics, of course, is how quickly are we reducing the cost per consumer acquisition. And we're getting a bit smarter and we're learning all the time about how to bring those costs down. So how do we create the awareness in a credible way? One of the best spokespeople for our brand, of course, is the physical therapist. She's an associate professor of physical therapy at PCOM in Georgia, Dr. Ruth Maher. She invented the brand because she recognized the terrible condition that women were suffering from and not finding solutions to. So she can talk about stress urinary incontinence, what causes it, what the solutions are, and how Enovo works in such a credible and authentic way. And my job is really to make sure that that message gets spread as widely as possible. As I said, we're supported by really strong and serious science, but we want to make that very compelling to consumers. And I think this kind of data simply delivered to consumers, 80% of women saw an improvement in their bladder leaks within 4 weeks. 87% of them were dry or almost dry after 12 weeks. This is landing incredibly well to the women who are suffering from this condition, giving them real interest in finding this solution. But of course, it's important that it's not just us who is saying it. It's very important that women hear from women like them that are having these great experiences. And I'm delighted that women who previously have been unable to really want to talk about this topic are now so willing to engage in it and share their experience. And equally, of course, objective third-party endorsers who also support not just the efficacy of Enovo, but also the idea around access to Enovo. They completely agree this should be direct to consumer. And this essentially is our go-to-market model on a page. We have an entirely e-commerce solution so we can engage with women who want to understand more about this condition all the way through their purchase journey and then support them after they've bought the device. Now we've got this model working, really working, we're also in a position to deliver some innovation. We're going to submit in July to the FDA our new device, which essentially takes it from a wireless-based controller that attaches to the device to an app base. And this, I think, is going to increase the compliance because women will get more behavioral support, more interaction to help them through that treatment process. So we have a go-to-market model, we have a piece of innovation, we are already seeing great commercial traction. And as they always say, it takes a village, and what I'm delighted by is the fact that we've inspired an awful lot of women, both on the investment side, on the commercial expertise side, and on the medical side that are supporting our entire leadership team to bring this opportunity to life. So just in summary, we are backed by some incredibly supportive European medtech investors who continue to support us, but we are ready now to raise our next round of new equity, our Series C. $25 million is what we're looking for to just add more fuel to the fire so we can continue in driving this really incredibly important treatment for stress urinary incontinence to women, first of all in the US, parts of Europe, and then obviously worldwide. So if you're interested in joining us, I'll be over in the breakout room. Thank you very much.